Welcome to Disciple Dojo. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at two Bibles that they're two Bibles, but they're basically the same thing in terms of the content. The only difference is basically the packaging and the translations that are used, and that is the Clear Focus Bible and the Clear Focus Bible for Kids by Zondervan. Someone at Zondervan was nice enough to send me these and ask for my thoughts on them after seeing the review that we did here of the Holman Bibles that were aimed at readers that suffer from various forms of dyslexia. If you missed that episode, I'll link it in the video description below. So I said, yeah, absolutely, send it to me. I'd be happy to take a look and share with Dojo viewers. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. If you appreciate these type of reviews, if you find them helpful, we would love for you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to this channel. And when you do, tap the little bell icon. That enables notifications. And it's just a way of telling YouTube, hey, we want to see the content of this creator, which helps us in turn and helps our views and all of that other stuff. So it's a win-win. Doesn't cost you anything. It really helps us out. And just, you'll notice my voice is raspy. For the past 2 weeks, I've been getting over COVID. And so one of the lingering effects is this awesome raspy voice and occasional cough that I have. All right, with that out of the way, let's look at these Clear Focus Bibles. So we're going to start with the NIV Clear Focus Bible. This is a hardback edition. It does come in other bindings, I believe, but this is just the one that Zondervan sent me. And so when you open it, you have the title page, the table of contents, the books of the Bible, and then you have the introduction. And I'll read you this introduction. This is the same in both of these pretty much. Sets out what makes this Bible different. It says, Clear Focus Bibles are designed to enhance your focus on the text, increase your comprehension as you read, and help you read more scripture than you normally would in the same amount of time. This breakthrough in Bible reading is accomplished through the bionic reading method, trademarked, and a streamlined layout of the text. So what is the bionic reading method? Well, let me zoom in closer so you can actually see it. Bionic reading is an innovative reading system that supports the reading flow. The eye is guided through the text by means of typographic highlights of some letters and words. The aim is to promote reading and comprehension of textual content by smoothing out the reading experience. In this system, only the letters that the brain needs to recognize for each word are set in a bold format. You can see that right here. Just the main letters of the word are in bold. This guides the eye over the text, and you can read more quickly and with less hindrance. This method aids in better reading comprehension. It has been shown to help those with ADHD or dyslexia to be able to read more easily. Now, I do not have ADHD. I do not have dyslexia, so I don't know. You tell me, viewers, you're looking at this. Maybe some of you do. Does this help? Are you able to quickly skim this page more easily than you would if all the letters were the same size or the same boldness and there was more space and it was broken differently? It's very similar to the CSB Bible for people with dyslexia in that it does chunk the paragraphs and it limits the width of the columns. But this is different in that instead of those colored layouts that the other one had, this one, the actual text is put in bold or in regular print. Then after that, you have the preface to the NIV, and it too is in this same layout. And then you come to the Old Testament, and you're in Genesis. There are no study notes. There are no book introductions. There are occasional translator notes from the actual NIV, but instead of being anywhere in the margin, they're all grouped at the end of that book. So these are all the Genesis notes that you encounter in the text in each chapter. Now, when it comes to poetry, they do try to preserve some of the poetry. Like, for instance, in Ecclesiastes, here are some poetic sections that they've preserved. In the prophets, you can see here's Isaiah, some of the prose, and then some of the poetry. And then at the end of the Bible, after Revelation and the Revelation endnotes, you have the table of weights and measures. And even the description of it, again, it's all in this, what they call bionic reading font. And then you have a reading plan. And this is a reading Bible. This is not a study Bible. This is a reading Bible. So I find the inclusion of a reading plan in this actually serves the purpose well. And that's it. There is nothing after that. So next, we come to the Clear Focus Bible for Kids. This one is, they didn't send me the hardback. They sent me this one in this slipcase. It has more about it. And it's this kind of duotone cover. It's really nice. It's textured. It's fairly bright, but not too bright. It's got a cross design on it. The little dots indicate, I think, the bionic reading font. But it's tactile, like you can feel, and it feels really nice. It's fits well in your hands. It's got one ribbon bookmark, and when you open it up, there's a presentation page, table of contents, books in alphabetical order, and this one is the introduction. This is the NIRV, the New International Reader's Version. That is a simplified version of the NIV, so it's a translation for people who read at a lower reading level, so like younger kids or people who are learning English as a second language. They also find it helpful. And I think people with various forms of dyslexia or ADHD may also find it helpful as well. So it just has the same thing. It tells the same purpose of this text and what they're trying to accomplish. Then an overview of the NIRV. This would be the equivalent to the NIV preface. And this is a good overview. It tells what the NIRV is as opposed to the NIV. And it also has a section about verses that are found in older English translations that aren't actually supported by the oldest and most reliable manuscripts. And so some people think, oh, Bibles like the NIV or the NIRV have taken out scripture, but this explains, no, that's not the case. These are the passages. They were included in later manuscripts, but they weren't originally part of inspired scripture, which is why they're not included in the actual text itself, but they do put them here so that you can have access to them and you can read them. And it doesn't have all of them by any means. It doesn't have, like, for instance, the longer ending of Mark. It doesn't have the pericope adulterae in John. And it doesn't have the famous Trinity verse in 1 John. Those are kind of like three of the big ones. But it does have some of the others. So after that preface to the NIRV, same thing. Old Testament, Genesis begins. And I'll do this. If you aren't familiar with the NIV and the NIRV, I'm going to take, since we've been teaching through Habakkuk here on the channel, I'm going to turn to Habakkuk, and I'm going to read Habakkuk chapter 3. This is the song that Habakkuk ends with, and I'm going to put them here side by side so you can see the difference. So here's how Habakkuk reads. I'm going to read it here on the right in the NIV. Here's the NIV reading of Habakkuk chapter 3. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet on Shigionoth. Lord, I have heard of your fame. I stand in awe of your deeds, Lord. Repeat them in our day. In our time, make them known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens. His praise filled the earth. His splendor was like the sunrise. Rays flashed from his hand, where his power was hidden. Plague went before him. Pestilence followed his steps. He stood and shook the earth. He looked and made the nations tremble. The ancient mountains crumbled. The age-old hills collapsed, but he marches on forever. I saw the tents of Cushan in distress, the dwellings of Midian in anguish. And so now in the NIRV, that same passage reads, this is a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet. It is on Shigionoth. Here's what he said. Lord, I know how famous you are. I have great respect for you because of your mighty acts. Do them again for us. Make them known in our time. When you're angry, please have mercy on us. God came from Teman. The Holy One came from Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens. His praise filled the earth. His glory was like the sunrise. Rays of light flashed from his mighty hand. His power was hidden there. He sent plagues ahead of him. Sickness followed behind him. When he stood up, the earth shook. When he looked at the nations, they trembled with fear. The age-old mountains crumbled. The ancient hills fell down. But he marches on forever. I saw the tents of Cushan in trouble. The people of Midian were suffering greatly. So that gives you a comparison between the NIRV and the NIV. So there you go. Hopefully that gives you an idea of not only what's in these Bibles, but the actual visual layout. And again, I do not know what dyslexia, ADHD is like. Reading is something that for me has always been very easy, but I know for a lot of people, for really smart people, reading, the physical act of reading can be really hard sometimes. And it has nothing to do with intelligence or ability or anything like that. It just has to do with there's something going on that makes it physiologically more difficult than it does for those of us that don't have dyslexia or ADHD. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, whether you think these would be helpful or not. I will say this, in comparing the two, and maybe, I mean, the binding, obviously, this is kind of the base hardback version. This is a little nicer one that you would sort of keep and give to someone. But even if both of these came in like really nice binding, honestly, I think for someone who struggles with reading, I would recommend the NIRV as a translation over the NIV. I think it's an easier translation, especially if somebody who's struggling to sit and read the Bible like for long periods of time, or read whole books of it, or big sections of it. People that just want to, if you have some type of ADHD, dyslexia, something that keeps you from sitting down and reading very quickly without getting distracted, I think that a translation like the NIRV actually is very helpful in getting you the big picture of the Bible. Now, of course, if you want to do a detailed exegetical study of a passage, no, I wouldn't say use the NIRV. I'd say then grab a much more literalistic Bible, maybe use Bible software, like Cross Bible or Step Bible or Logos or Accordance or something to really get into the original text, because that's what exegesis is. But in terms of just reading, to take in Scripture, to familiarize yourself with Scripture, I would say try the NIRV over the NIV. I think it's better for that purpose, not even just for kids. So I could see of these two, you might feel silly giving an adult a Bible that has this packaging on it that says for kids. But if you threw this away and you just handed me this Bible, other than the note on the spine that says for kids and the title page, everything else is the same, and the translation is easier to read than this one. So that'd be my choice if I had to pick one of the two. But I'll leave that up to you after watching this review. So that is the Clear Focus Bible from Zondervan with their trademarked bionic reading system. Let me know what you think about it, especially, again, like I said, those of you that do have or struggle with various forms of dyslexia or ADHD. I would really be interested in your thoughts on it. That'll do for now. Thanks for watching. Hope this review was helpful. If it was, check out the playlist here on the channel. We've reviewed well over 100 other study Bibles and biblical resources out there on the market. So be sure to tap the playlist button. Like if you're watching this on your phone or something, you might not think to do that, but just tap on the title of this video and the video description will open up, and there's links in it to the playlist that has all of our Bible and Bible resource reviews. Take a look at that. That's what we're about here at Disciple Dojo, helping to equip, engage, and empower people to go deeper in their understanding of Scripture. And so if that's something that you like and you want to support, like I said, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tell other folks about us. Share Disciple Dojo videos, talk us up. But that'll do for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next time at Disciple Dojo. And as always, in the meantime, keep training.